What's up, world? This is Dontay with Y.B.Normal. Topic of discussion: sponge. Yeah, I know it sounds corny, weird, talking about a sponge. Yeah, I'm talking about the one that you wipe, you clean your bathroom with, wash dishes with, a sponge. Something that literally soaks up, absorb a lot of water and you're still able to wipe up messes. That's what we're talking about here. But I'm actually going a little bit deeper. Not a little bit, very deep when I'm talking about a sponge. I'm talking about after the transition of when you hit 21, maybe you went past college, you graduated or you didn't go, and you're trying to find yourself. I call this the mid season, where you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. And I'm using the analogy sponge because you have to have the ability to just soak up so much information from any and everybody. This is where you take on entry-level jobs. This is where you might play overseas or something. You might get a gig. You might start your own company. This is where you're just trying things and you're trying to be a sponge. You're getting involved in organizations. But the main goal is to absorb as much information as possible. I'm still doing that right now. You can never be old to be a sponge. Based on your mentors, the people you're around, you have to be a sponge to where you learn so much. That's how people move up. Let's just look at college, college sports period. Football, basketball, whatever. You start as a GA. Some people start as a graduate assistant. You sit there, you're cutting film, or you're doing whatever, you're working out the players, player development, till all of a sudden you're hired on as assistant coach. Then you move up again and you're a head assistant. Well, before you know it, now you're a head coach. You might start at Division 3 and then you go to Division 2, Division 1. You might start at a mid-major like UTC, then you can go to VCU. But that's what we're talking about, to where you're that sponge, you're learning those plays. You're learning those tasks, what a company requires you to do for you to get to that next level. And as kids, we tend to think we know it all as soon as we become a teenager. Everybody wants to be on their own. As soon as you turn 18, you want to be grown. You want to feel like you're legal, you can be on your own, you can stand for yourself. When in reality, you're just still transitioning to trying to be an adult. You still trying to be a sponge, And as people who are transitioning, from a halfway house, to the real world. You're out of jail, but you're in a halfway house, so you're still transitioning. You still got to be a sponge and listen to people and trying to do right stuff and be around people just to absorb that positive energy so you don't go back in. That's what we're talking about here. So I'm challenging everybody out there to, read, write, express yourself, talk to people, be that sponge and interact with someone so you can get something out of it, to eventually help you achieve a lot of your goals. The biggest problem is nobody wants to accept constructive criticism. Everybody, if you say, hey man, you're doing that wrong, you need to do this, or hey, I don't like that. Kids nowadays, if you tell a kid he's not good, he's gonna frown and say you're hating, or you're talking down on them. In reality, you're just trying to get them some tough love, some constructive criticism. You have to have that ability to accept, criticism from somebody or what somebody telling you you're not doing, and soak that up as a sponge and then spin it back out so you can propel, and take off from there. So that's what we're talking about here. Be that sponge. If you're in middle school, learn as much as possible. If you're in college, be a sponge. Be in all kind of organizations, SGA, FCA, be in the engineering program, be in a business program to where you see people who are starting their own businesses. You internship for TVA, you internship for all these corporations to where you be a sponge and then you can spin off whatever you want. Because that's the main goal. Eventually everybody wants to do something on their own and be proud of something. So be that sponge. Instead of as a kid, you going back and forth with your mom all the time, how about you finally just listen to something she say? You be a sponge to where all of a sudden, that might help you. That might create a bond for her. That might just uplift her for one day, every day, and make her smile just because you are even listening and being a sponge for that. So that's what we're talking about here today. Everybody in the world, stop getting mad every time somebody tells you something. Be a sponge. Listen before you react. And let's see how far you go. Be a sponge.